it's Keely and I'm back for another video. This is just going to be a check-in on where I'm at with the Wrap It Up Readathon that I'm hosting throughout December, and also to hear how you guys are doing if you're taking part. So I had a bunch of different prompts for it and I've completed some of them and I'm working on others, so I wanted to talk to you guys about it. The first prompt was to read the first book that you bought in 2025. I have not done that because that is an Ursula K. Le Guin book. Let me get it. It's actually right here. It is this one, which is 5 Ways to Forgiveness. This is one I bought in January, I think, for my birthday, and I haven't read it yet, but I would really like to. However, December did not end up going how I thought it would go. I've talked about it a handful of times at this point because it's been like obviously front and center, but the end of November, my dad died very unexpectedly. He was sick for a long time, but it was still like a whole thing. And because of that, I didn't really want to read a lot of my favorite authors or things that I had planned on reading because I didn't want to associate those things with this time. Let me know if you've ever done that. There are like certain books that I read at different periods in my life that I'm like, oh, I don't want to reread that because I read that at a time when things sucked and I don't want to be reminded of that. And so that's why I didn't end up picking up this one, because I just didn't want to associate Ursula K. Le Guin's writing or this universe with right now. But I will be reading this one hopefully in January. I just didn't get to it. Then the next one is to read the last book that you bought in 2025. And I forget what that one is, but I didn't do that either. I have finished a couple books, so we'll get there. The next one is to finish a series. The series that I said I was going to finish for this one is the Drowning Empire series by Andrea Stewart. I did read a little bit more in this one. I just got a copy from the library, thankfully an ebook copy, so I can continue reading it. But I obviously have not finished this one. I have instead been working on 2 other books. I have been working on this one, which is the 6th book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. And I also decided to pick up a book that I bought earlier in the year, which is Thornlight by Claire Legrand. I am about halfway through this one. I have to find like where exactly I am. I've been reading it on my Kindle. It's a middle grade about these 2 sisters. One has magic and is like loved by the universe, and the other one is younger and wasn't born with all the wonderful things that her older sister was. And you're following this younger sister as she is trying to kind of discover what she's feeling and experiencing, and also there's an impending war, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it. So I'm actually going to count this one for this one. So instead of reading the first book I bought in 2025, I'm reading this one, which I did buy closer to the beginning of the year and hadn't got to yet. We're gonna count that. Then, yeah, it says read the oldest book on your TBR. I haven't been doing that. I was reading Hyperion by Dan Simmons and I haven't picked that one up in weeks. But comfort read, I did do this. The comfort read that I wanted to read was The Two Towers, but similar to why I didn't pick up Ursula K. Le Guin, I wasn't gonna pick up Lord of the Rings right now. Instead, what I did was I read a book that I had, an ebook copy that just came out within the last year or so, and that's Of Monsters and Mainframes by Barbara Truelove. This one was a sci-fi, and it's from the perspective of a transport ship, and it reminded me so much of how I felt reading Murderbot, that it was just like so lovely and so comforting, and I loved the dynamics of the ship and the people on the ship and how it interacted with other ships. It was just so much fun and so comforting. So I did mark down comfort read completed for that one. Finish a book you started in 2025. I did. Y'all, I finally finished Tokyo Ever After, and I love this book. I thought this was so great. So this one's by Emiko Jean, and I started this one in June or July when we went to the beach and then hadn't picked it back up. So I finally did, and I finished it. And this one is about Izumi, who goes by Izzy, and she is Japanese American, and she doesn't know who her dad is, and she lives in a town that is not super wonderful for people that are not white, and she's really kind of struggling to find her place in the world. And then one day her and her best friend discover that her dad might be Japanese royalty, and so she ends up like on a whim reaching out to him, and he's like, cool, come see me. And so she goes to Japan and like has to learn how to be a royal, and it's just so fun. There's like an enemies to lovers story in it too, and you're just like going along with Izumi as she's uncovering who she is and feeling proud of who she is and who her family is, and it's just, oh, I had such a fun time with it. I loved it so much. And then in the other media section, so we have finish a TV show. I did. I watched all the new episodes of British Bake Off Holiday season edition, whatever, and had such a fun time. I've been rewatching Bake Off again. It's so much fun. Most anticipated movie. For this one, I have two options. So one we did watch already, which was Home Alone. We watch that every year. But Christmas Day, we're going to watch Muppet Christmas Carol, which we watch every Christmas Day because it's the best movie ever made ever. I will mark that off completed then. For comfort watch, I started rewatching Way of the House Husband, which is this incredible anime on Netflix. It's based off of a manga, I'm pretty sure, but Way of the House Husband is following a Yakuza boss who is obsessed with being a perfect house husband and like making food for his wife, who is I think an office worker, and taking care of their cat, and the other like Yakuza members don't know that he's not an active Yakuza boss, and it's just, oh my god, it's so over the top and incredible. I love it so much. So I've been rewatching that. And then I had finish a game. I had a couple things for this one, but what I wanted to do was to P100 my character in Dead by Daylight, which is an online horror survival game, basically like hide and seek, but with monsters, and you play online. And I've been playing this game since it came out in like 2016, I think. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, PC game ever besides Borderlands 2. I have the most hours in this game, and I wanted to prestige the redhead character, Michaela, to 100. And I am sitting at, oh, what is she at? I think P85? I think I'm at 85. So I'm still working on that one. It's going to take a while to do, but I'm determined to P100 Michaela. And then the other thing that I did was I actually went back and restarted a game that I played earlier this year and completely finished it. And that is A Building Full of Cats 2. I am such a sucker for those hidden object games, like you know, Where's Waldo internet games, and I play them all the time. I think they're so much fun. And Building Full of Cats, I started earlier this year. There was one cat in one room that I could not figure out how to get it. I knew where it was, I just couldn't figure out what you had to do to unlock this freaking cat. So I just restarted the game and was like, okay, maybe with fresh eyes I'll figure it out. I eventually did, and I did 100% that freaking game. So happy about that. In terms of hobbies, I had to finish a work in progress, and I'm just gonna count overall my book journal for that because I started this in September and I wanted to just keep going with it, and I have this whole time. So I'm gonna count that. And then for bake or cook, I made a handful of things for Christmas, and I will be making something later today for the first time. I'm very excited. So what have I made so far? I made chocolate chip peppermint scones. So good. I made the white chocolate matcha cookies that my husband loves that we make every year. I made sugar cookies with Christmas sprinkles. I made these new, they are chocolate peppermint bars. So good. We just finished those up last night. And then today I will be making a chocolate Yule log for us to have for dessert tomorrow after Christmas dinner. So definitely having a fun time with cooking. And then comfort creation. For that, I think probably for New Year's, I will make my grandmother's chocolate chip cookie recipe, which is my favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe of all time. She used to make it all the time growing up. She had this huge cookie jar on her kitchen counter, and it was like a known thing that you go to my mom's house and you take cookies out of the jar. And I made them with her many, many times. And the only thing that makes them like super special is that they, well, they were hers, but they have peanut butter and oats in them. And they're just incredible. I've never had chocolate chip cookies that taste quite like them, and they're so good. So I will probably do that at the beginning of the year. But I also want to talk to you guys about the current books that I'm reading. So like I said, I am reading Thornlight, having a wonderful time with it. I am much farther in Carl. I just haven't updated where my bookmark is yet. I have to look and find out. I think I'm over 200 pages into it now. And then what else have I been reading? I finished a book that I was reading for work, and I am going to be reading The Bone Shard War. We'll be playing Dead by Daylight today, and I have one more present for my husband that I need to wrap that came Monday, and then we're just going to be hanging out. Tonight I am making a bunch of stuff for us to have as like appetizers for dinner. That's typically what we do like the night before a holiday, is we just have appetizers instead of like a full dinner. And this, tonight I'm making a sesame khachapuri. I'm probably saying that wrong, but it is basically like a bread boat that has a bunch of cheese and an egg. And then I'm also making, and I couldn't find pigs in blankets that were just like regular pigs in blankets. I could only find pretzel dogs, which I'm not complaining. So we have pretzel dogs and we have veggies and dip and meats and cheeses and shit. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. We're just going to hang out and watch some YouTube, maybe another Christmas movie, and eat some snackies. So just gonna take it easy for the next few days for sure, because tomorrow's Christmas, but also because we're supposed to get really shitty weather in Pennsylvania over the next couple days. We had some snow. We had a big snowstorm, and that was wonderful. We got like 6 or 7 inches, and then it turned to ice, and that sucked. And then it rained, and it all melted. Tuesday morning, we had some ice and sleet and snow for a little bit. We had just like a light coating, and then it turned to rain and it all went away. And now over the next couple days, they're calling for like high winds and rain and sleet and bullshit instead of like fat, thick snow, which is what I want. But we'll probably just be in the house for the next couple days. But I wanted to come on here and say hi and update you guys on what I've been reading and working on for the readathon. Let me know if you're taking part. What other readathons are you doing this month? I know there's like a lot of them going on. I've been prepping for all the ones I'll be doing with other people next year, like participating in theirs, like not hosting my own, just participating in everyone else's. But I'm having a really fun time still doing this, even if it didn't start how I planned, but that's okay. Let me know how you guys are doing, and if you are reading anything, playing any games, baking anything, making anything, and that's it. Thanks for watching.